Hello there, people! It's me, Deathstalker, with yet another Q2 level nobody cares about. But yeah, I'm gonna push on all of you anyway. Why? Because I am a terrible person. Okay, so today we're gonna be checking out Cave Dwellers. Um, let's get into it. At this point, as you've realized, names mean absolutely positively nothing. I mean, I've said in the past that, like, names in old school games prior to, like, um the days of Unreal and whatnot, so basically like the era Quake and older, um didn't exactly matter. Names were just kind of there. But usually they were kind of something descriptive to what they were, even if we had stuff like Doom, which kind of didn't do that. But yeah, hangar isn't really a hangar. But I don't know, at least maybe you could say they were trying to do a hangar. The fact of the matter that you have, like, the middle of the map being like an open courtyard could be like the area where it's like a hangar. And maybe there was some type of design in mind where they said, hangar! Here it's just like they threw a random name together and just said, let's make this a random name. And yeah, it feels totally pointless. Um, So I guess if you're a big fan of Doom, I guess you're be a big fan of how exactly they name stuff here. Oh wait, that was single player, and of course I just exited out and it exited me out of everything. I thought Escape would just quit me from solo games. Oh, so you have to hit B to go back. Why couldn't it just have been Escape to go back and you can escape from there? I have. Okay, it's a bit weird. I don't know. I just imagine it being like a tree and like escape from the main tree with exit. It just feels kind of weird that one's back. But yeah, like I said, the whole weird thing about like Aftershock is its naming scheme. But yeah, like I said, it's nothing new when it comes to older FPS. Like I said, the days of Quake, it's more understandable than say like later. Um, if we are looking at like Unreal or something and they were doing this, it would be a lot more offensive, definitely. But I do have to kind of give it a little bit of the benefit of the doubt because it's Quake. Um, but honestly, I want to say, really, in terms of even Quake, like the names, I don't really know if you could say it one way or the other. I mean, the nameless city wasn't really a city. Um, but overall, it seemed like they were trying to do something with it, I think. Yeah, I'm not really sure. Yeah. Any event, let's not get so stuck up on the names and let's get stuck up instead on the quality, which is absolutely terrible! I think at the end of the day, that's what really matters. If it was a decent level and they were doing it as a decent level, it would make sense. When you take something and it's no longer a decent level, and you name it after something else that's structure or something like that, that's the problem. I think the biggest problem last time around was the fact that it was a structure name. Um, like Cave Dwellers, that could refer to anything. It could be anything out there. It really, the only thing you really need is that it's kind of like a cave system or something because it's referring to caves. But other than that, like if I say, the dismal, but yeah, that's not a good example because it has OBA in the name. But say I say something that's just more like depression and suicide, that could be basically applied to any level out there. It really doesn't matter. And so names whereby you kind of get stuff like that, it makes total sense that they could basically refer to anything. And really not have to worry about it. But when you start talking about a structure, like a tower, you expect it to at least have staircases. And I think that was where the big problem was. Now this one, underground tunnels is basically Q2's specialty because that's pretty much what every single level is. But yeah, of course, it would be awesome to have a bit more than just one object per room and really pointless corridors with absolutely no ambient sound. I think a big problem with Q2 in general, if I had to really pinpoint it down, is the lack of ambient sound. Um, that and the fact of the matter that there's no landmarks. Yeah, I think the matter of those two really matter. Quake isn't the best when it comes to ambient sounds, but you also have to remember it uses a lot of music to really block that fact. And the fact of the matter, it still does have ambient sounds. If you're like in the mid-base areas, you'll hear like computers, you'll hear water dripping. There's little small subtle details. And sound in a game is very, very important. Those ambient sounds matter a lot because having a game completely silent never works. It just makes you think that your headphones are broken. And yeah, that pretty much is how I feel when I start is in like Sin here. Right now, I'm not hearing anything. If I wasn't talking, I wouldn't hear anything right now, and that just totally stinks. And I think that's a big flaw with Q2 actually in its design. That the whole look of the place and just the general layout of a lot of these being rather linear. I mean, not all, but most are pretty linear in design or have only like one or two verges. And especially for a multiplayer level, that's pretty terrible. Anyway, here's a rocket launcher. You come down this corridor here, and you'll find out we're in a bloody linear level again, aren't we? Oh no! There's two ways to go around here. Amazing. Okay. Let's see here. Okay, it's starting to diverge the pathways a little bit, so let's try and figure out where we're going here. Yeah, I'm getting a little bit lost. I don't want to get too lost either. Let's see here. What is this way? Grenade launcher, sure. Add that to my collection. Then we'll come over here. Here's an armor. Double-barreled shotgun and a yellow. I think this is actually the way I came from. Right? I want to say I came from over here. No, this is a super nail gun. I'm a bit lost. That's kind of what happens when you end up in this world. You end up getting a little bit lost. Did I start over here? Yeah, here's the rocket launcher. So yeah, it's basically like four corners of like twisty little bends. And so you have that one which goes to the super nail gun. I showed you the one that went to a rocket launcher. You have over here which leads to a thunderbolt. And then the other one led to a grenade launcher. And that's pretty much the design of that. It's a bit of a mess and a bit confusing in the middle. But that's basically the idea of this. Having played these Q2 levels, I can proudly say something like that and know what I'm talking about. Yeah. And also I could say that there's no nail gun here, interestingly enough. Though nobody cares about the nail gun anyway, but it's still that extra little, like, I have 7 out of 8 weapons here. Where's that last weapon? Anyway, I'm bored out of my mind. Let's leave this level. Well, thank you very much all for watching. I know it's pretty uneventful at this point. It's totally uneventful to me, too. And that's kind of one reason it'll be nice to kind of get through Q2 again, so that way I can say it's done, and we can look at more interesting things, with standout, structures or something. But if I had to say one big flaw with Q2, it's the fact of the matter that it has absolutely nothing of memorabilia or anything. The only thing you can remember from it's a bunch of bland-looking corridors. And that's pretty much what you'll take away from it. And honestly, like I said, design-wise, you could try and look at it and say maybe it's a bit better. But the problem is, most of it's not better. There's a lot of stuff that's very linear. There's no sound effects anywhere. There's just a lot of flaws with its design that makes it so that way it's a joke of a level. In fact, every one of these is pretty much a joke of a level. You have some that's better than others, but overall, and the fact of the matter is that landmarks do matter. They are a thing that's kind of like they are a nice little flashy thing, and it could be said to be something like, aesthetics, but at the same time, it also is kind of needed to actually make your level stand out and make it so that way it's actually, memorable. When we have a bunch of levels in one sitting or so, like over 50 levels or so of single player and 50 levels of multiplayer, all packed together and using the same textures, we kind of need something that stands out in each level so that way we actually know which one we just played. Like, without that, and without a descriptive name, because the names don't mean really diddly squat here, it really means that I just have no idea what I played. I'm just basically going in these in a sequential order and basically load one up, play it, show it off. I really don't remember much about them besides a few memorable examples for being so terrible or being, one of the early ones where they were actually trying. And other than that, it's pretty much just forgettable nonsense. You load a level up, you do it, you get to the next one. It really is that simple. And the problem with that is that there's just nothing to do. It's pretty much, it's Quake at its core, and it's Quake, with shooting things. But the problem is, and the part of the matter that you should argue against it, is the fact of the matter that it also doesn't have anything of merit there that really is like memorable or makes it a worthwhile experience. Like each level in Quake has something that you can at least remember about said level. What can you remember about these? And that's the biggest problem of all, is that really you kind of need to have some landmark or something which stands out in your head as being different from every other level. And with custom levels, that is a bit harder to obtain because a lot of custom levels are going to be made pretty blocky, pretty similar in design, and they're not going to have anything that stands out. And they're going to get completely buried, especially in a game like Quake, which has a massively oversaturated market. We're talking thousands upon thousands of levels, a lot of which are multiplayer, but the fact of the matter is, a lot of it's very, very forgettable because it's stuff like this or whatnot. I'm not sure if it's actually all as bad as this at all. Um, I haven't really bothered too much with looking at like actual custom levels, mainly because I kind of stopped when we were kind of getting close to that stuff. But we'll start looking at that more as we get there. For now, we're looking at Q2 made by MicroStar and seeing just how much of a ripoff we got. It's good to just, imagine if there was YouTube back then, this probably would have been all the hype and how much people got ripped off by this. But alas, there was none, and so therefore this is totally obscure. So, with that in mind, Thank you very much all for watching, and I shall see you all next time.